Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 25th of May 2021. In this video, we'll be discussing this couple of issues. The kindness of strangers. So this topic can be discussed under the GS2 topic, that is governance. So in that, one of the most important component is how we can make public as an important stakeholder. This article highlights the important role played by civil society and suggests the need for creating a framework wherein you can actually look at this civil society as a tool for arriving at the solution of problems in our society. In this context, we have to realize that the present COVID crisis is a glaring showcase of the failure of governments and governance systems when there is no cooperation from the public or civil society. We have to realize that privatization is not the answer for governance in our country, because private citizens will not be in a position to provide for the needs of the citizens across the country. So there is a need for effective social interactions, according to the writer. So what do you mean by the social interactions? Basically, this is about how a community participates and plays an important role in scaling up some of the actions that have been found useful. So best practices in a particular community must be replicated across the country. This requires active engagement. What do you mean by this active engagement? Basically, whenever a decision is taken by the government, if the public decided not to cooperate in a situation of a lockdowns would not be successful. We have to understand that public would cooperate with us when they realize that the government is acting in their best interest. So decentralization of power actually happens when people actually feel that they are empowered or they have a say in decisions. So this empowered group of secretaries that the government recently created to understand how we can actively engage with the civil society is an important step in this framework. So for this, there is a need for a Niti Aayog recommended framework. So for this, the author suggests that Niti Aayog should engage government institutions. Till now, generally, the perception about government institutions is that it is completely out of reach for public as far as policy matters are concerned. They can only visit government institutions with a hope for grievance redressal, but not active public participation while they are making any new policies. So this requires a paradigm shift. Now public must be made partners even in crisis management also. When public are also looked at as a resource to tap in times of crisis, we can achieve a lot of things. If we take a look at the sustainable development goals that Niti Aayog is actually entrusted with as a responsibility for involving the communities, it will achieve a dual objective of on one hand, we will be reaching the targets of SDG goals by 2030, and on the other hand, obviously, for this to happen, the governance delivery will become much more efficient. This happens with participation of the public. So this article writer suggests that we have to leverage advanced technologies, and he gives an acronym ABCD. A stands for artificial intelligence, B stands for blockchain, and C is for cloud computing, D is for data analytics. So whenever there is a demand and a supply, often there is a demand supply mismatch. This mismatch can be understood and closed by using these ABCD technologies. So the article writer suggests that we create a framework based on these technologies, and this institutional framework must be actually applied across all the sectors to bridge this demand supply gap. To simplify things, or to sum up the article, what this article writer is saying is Niti Aayog should come up with a framework where if for example the government services are somewhere at this level and the demand is somewhere at this level, in order to bridge the gap that is existing between the demand and the actual supply from the government, this gap can be filled by civil society, and at the same time using this ABCD technologies. We have discussed what these are: artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, and data analytics. Why is Niti Aayog so important? Now we are talking about tapping the civil society here. What is that organization which maintains a database of all these civil society organizations? That database is Darpan portal, which is held by Niti Aayog. Therefore, the article writer suggests that we have to tap into the resources of Niti Aayog, create a framework which is very much in tandem with its objective of being a think tank to better utilize the resources that the government has at its disposal. So that is the gist of this article, which can be encapsulated with this small flowchart or informatic diagram. This article is taken from the Financial Express and it is titled A Boost to Research. So basically, in the backdrop of COVID vaccine hunt, we have realized how important R&D sector is for a country. But if you take a look at our country, we spend just around 0.69% of GDP on research and development activities. If you compare that with US and Germany, it is much less. In countries like Germany, they spend nearly 3% of GDP. Now, we have to understand that in absolute terms as well, our amount is quite low. Despite having the skilled workforce, what we are not able to ensure is give them enough facilities to carry out this research and development. The World Intellectual Property Organization's reports say that nearly more than 60% of R&D activities are taken up by the government. So, and most of the 60% funds go into a few areas like space, nuclear energy, and up to a certain extent biotechnology in the form of agriculture. So this shows that not only we are underspending, but also the emphasis is lopsided towards what is considered important for our economy. This warrants a reimagination of the need for R&D and how we can tap into private resources for improving the scene of research and development in our country. In this context, the new education policy is going to play a very important role. The new education policy, or the National Education Policy 2020, has provided for a national research fund. Under its ambit, all the relevant stakeholders, namely industry, government, and academia, are involved in this. What this will ensure is a collaborative platform between all the stakeholders involved in R&D sector. This is a very good start. What needs to be done next is creation of IPRs, that is intellectual property rights. India is not known for protecting its intellectual property, and this is an opportunity to not only garner funds for research but also create an ecosystem where IPR is respected in our country. And when this is done, if IP laws are implemented very stringently, there is an incentive for the stakeholders to participate in this research. Otherwise, they would look to migrate to safe havens where their intellectual property rights are respected. So, this is the first priority. After this, what we can do is take the agenda of national education policy, wherein a multidisciplinary approach. This multidisciplinary approach should be encouraged across all sectors. For example, whatever may be the kind of innovation, it should have a certain social angle as well. It should try to address some sort of a social problem, and when such patents are created, they should be respected and protected by our government's backing. There should not be any sort of complacency on this front. When this is taken care of, the R&D situation will move ahead and it will trigger a long lasting effect on the entire education sector. India today is not known for its higher education and research. The very reason is because of lack of intellectual property rights protection, and at the same time, there is no incentive for innovators in our country. So that is the gist of this article.